Namaste and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga project. My name is Dana. Thank you for taking the time to practice with me today. We have a gentle yoga practice. It's going to be a chair yoga practice, focusing on taking care of ourselves and our body. We're going to start out with a little bit of a warm-up, and we're just going to do some brushing. And so we're going to start just brushing on our head, forehead, temples, cheeks, the back of the head, and then the neck, the back of the neck, going around the throat, and then the shoulder, and the arm, brushing the outside of the arm, the top of the arm, inside of the arm, and then the hand, and then the other shoulder, upper. And this is just a way of releasing a little bit of stress and tension, moving energy. And it may even feel good just to have that sense of touch, and then the hand. And we'll fling our hands, and we'll work on the chest. Center of the chest, the belly, and the sides, and the back. Hips, thighs, knees, back of the knee, and then the calves and shins, and the feet. And then we're going to come and we're going to bring our hands to the chest. We're going to 3 times, just 1, 2, 3. And then we're kind of our heart center, our ribs, our belly, and then our hips. And we'll just shake our hands. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, and softening the face, the chin, the jaw, throat, the chest, the abdominals, and the hips. Let's take a breath here, and we'll do a check-in. Just notice how you're doing in this moment. How are you feeling physically, mentally, and spiritually? Taking note and honoring whatever you feel in this moment. We're not looking to change anything. The power is in the awareness, just noticing. And welcome once again. Today we're going to be moving through a chair yoga practice, and I figured this is something that you can do perhaps in between your classes, or if you needed a couple minutes or just a breath or something to readjust when you're in class. You can do one of these motions, and it's just being on a chair. If you don't have a chair, you can sit on the floor as well, but I'm going to demonstrate in the chair, but you can also just sit on the floor. And we'll go with that. And then the theme that I wanted to do is the power of questions. Sometimes we search so hard for answers that we don't spend time thinking about the questions. And so today we just want to give some time to focus on their questions. And so Suzanne Langer, she was the first American woman to achieve academic success in philosophy, said that our questions shape our answers. And so we're going to explore the questions in our mind today. So to begin with, we're going to sit on the edge of the chair or sit up tall. We're going to have our hands clasped together, and we're going to allow the shoulders to move in the torso as if we're making a bowl of soup. We can start out with a small bowl of soup, maybe a medium-sized bowl, and I want to make a big bowl of soup today. And I might ask myself, why do I want to make that big bowl of soup today? think I've been sitting for a little while. And so moving my body's feeling stiff. So why do I want to make that big bowl, or why do I want to make a small bowl of soup today? Just exploring. And being curious, having a sense of curiosity. Do this a few more times in this direction, allowing the torso to move all around, feeling the full circumference. Of your movement. And then taking a pause and taking a breath. And then we'll make soup in the other direction, stirring the pot in the opposite direction. Again, you can make a small bowl, you can start out small and move as much or as little as you like. And in our yoga practice, we want to focus on the breath. So breathing in and breathing out with your movement. And we also want to bring awareness to the sensations that we're feeling. And perhaps the thoughts we're having. And not get too attached to any of them. Or perhaps having a sense of curiosity. Maybe two more in this direction. And then coming to a pause and taking a breath. And notice the sensation of the breath in your body. And notice the sensations perhaps in the back and the shoulders and the hips. Do you feel any different now than you did before we started moving? And then noticing the clasp of your hands, we're going to open that clasp and we're going to switch it in the opposite direction. So we're clasping in an unfamiliar way. And you may ask, why is she having us do this? And then we're going to inhale our arms up, gazing up towards the sky, and then exhale as we come down forward. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. You're noticing how it feels to move with your hands in this unfamiliar position. Sometimes when we learn new things, it's uncomfortable to begin with. And so we can just experience that discomfort here in class. So that when we're out in other places and we're trying a new behavior, we know how it feels to be uncomfortable and we can stick with it. And you may even arch the back a little bit as you come up. And with the arms up overhead, taking a breath here, holding the arms up, opening the arms, opening the chest up ever so slightly, allowing the chin to look up, taking a breath here, and then allow the hands to come down to the knees and take a breath. And just once again, notice the spine, the shoulders, the breath. How are you doing in this moment? bring our hands out in front of us, and as we turn to the right, we're going to gaze at the right hand. Then we'll gaze at the left hand as we turn to the left. Gazing at the right hand as we move to the right. And then as we go to the left, as we twist side to side, just following the hand. This is called a somatic movement. And it helps coordinate our mind and our movements. It can also help reset our thought patterns. And then slowly allow the hands to come up to maybe chest height. And you may notice the spine is moving a little bit differently. And then maybe bring the hands up to shoulder height. We're just wringing out our spine, kind of like we would moisten a towel. And then wring it out like a washcloth. And we're getting rid of the dirty water. We're making space for the clean water. It's the same with our spine. We're just moving the spine to relieve some of the toxins, and then bringing the hands up to like the eye level and allowing the head to follow. And as we unwind, we're able to bring more fluid into our spine. Then we'll bring the hands down to the shoulders, moving side to side. Just following the hands. And then to the chest. The abdominal. And then the hips. And then coming to stillness and noticing the breath, noticing the sensations of the body, and noticing the thoughts that are present in this moment. And perhaps it feels similar, or perhaps it feels different than it did a moment ago. We're going to bring our right hand down. We're going to inhale the arm up, across the body, and then bring it down to the right leg. And then we'll bring the left arm down, lifting it up, crossing the body and bringing it down. We're just going to continue doing that, inhaling and then exhaling as we bring the arm down. Inhaling as the arm rises, exhale as it comes down. Just move side to side, and you may notice a sensation in the torso as you're lifting, in the arm. And just notice what questions, if you had a question now, what would your question be? But what is a question you've always had? I'm always fascinated by airplanes and how they can fly. And even though I know it's aerodynamic and there's a lot of science behind it and I've read it, it's just a fascination to me. How do airplanes fly? And it's not a logical question, it's just an emotional, I'm amazed that something so large and so heavy can take off and sustain itself. So what's a question you have? Maybe about electricity. Maybe it's about nature or art. What's a question that you've always had? Then bring your hands down when you're ready and taking a breath. You can notice the body, the breath, maybe the lingering of the question that you've always had. knee up, and I'm gonna cross it over the left knee to figure 4. We're just gonna allow that leg to rest open. If this is too intense on the hip, you can extend that left leg out or bring the leg down below the knee or the ankle. Just working the hip just a little bit here. Sitting up tall. If you want, you can bring the hands behind you and open up the chest. And that might feel good. Or you may bring the hands to the shin and lean forward a little bit, extending the spine, releasing. You're able to soften and release in any tension in the hip, allowing that to happen. And a few breaths here. Noticing your breath. And we'll inhale up, and then we'll bring that knee in and down to the ground. And then we'll lift the opposite leg. For me, it's my left leg. I'm going to bring it over to my knee. And I'm just going to notice that first. Sitting up tall, lifting my collarbone up towards the sky. Again, you can bring the hands behind you and roll the shoulders back. You can extend the spine forward with the hands behind you or the hands on the shin. Just noticing what's present, the sensation. And there's a quote in a movie called 180 Degrees South, and it's one of my favorite movies. It's about exploration in Patagonia. And the quote is, the best journeys answer questions that is in the beginning you don't even know you had. They say that about learning as well. The more we know, the more we realize we don't know. And questions, I think, can be the same. The more we question, the more we're curious. The more curious we get, and the more interesting life can become. And then we'll sit up, and we'll bring that leg down, and we'll take a breath here. And just notice once again, the body, the breath, the thoughts. And I'm going to move a little bit forward in my chair, and I'm going to lean back ever so slightly, lifting the heels off of the floor. You can't see my feet, my toes are on the ground. Bring my hands to my thighs. The hands can also be on the side of the chair. You should feel your core engaging. You should feel this in your abdominals a little bit. And then we're going to perhaps lift the feet off of the ground. So my feet are off of the ground, almost parallel to the floor. My chest is lifting up towards the sky. Chest is lifting up towards the sky. And then I'm going to extend my hands out. Boat pose, pulling the belly into the spine. Extending the legs, the mound of the foot. My back is off of the chair, but you may want to rest the back on the chair, pulling the belly in. And then we'll lower down. Take a breath here. And then we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to come back. Engage the belly by pulling the belly button into the spine, hands on the side of the chair, or at the legs, or on the side of the chair. I'll demonstrate with the chair. I'm just lifting my heels off of the ground now. And then I'm going to lift the knees off of the ground. And perhaps you can extend the legs. Perhaps holding onto the back of the chair, or extending the arms out. Lifting the chest and the collarbone up towards the sky, Noticing your breath, noticing where you're feeling this in the body. Another breath. And then we'll come down. Moving our feet extended out in front of us. And I'm going to come to the side. So my feet are extending in front of us. I'm going to lift the chest. And then I'm just going to roll my body forward. Allowing the head to come down, rounding my back into a forward fold. You can also have a straight spine by extending the spine out, or you can relax down and allow the chin to tuck. Take a few breaths in the forward fold and just notice the sensation in this posture, noticing the breath. Noticing how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. What are you aware of? Are you present in this moment, or are you thinking about the past or planning for the future? If you can, gently allow the awareness to come back to this moment, noticing the sensation in the body, the breath. Another breath in the forward fold, maybe moving the head side to side. And just noticing the sensation, noticing the breath. And then helping yourself roll up. And then I'm going to do my Shavasana in the seated position here. Just coming, allowing yourself to come into a seated position, either on the floor or in the chair. The hands can be resting on the lap. The eyes can be open or the eyes can be closed. And first, just allow yourself to notice the breath, noticing the inhalation and noticing the exhalation. Perhaps softening the body, the shoulders, the hips. And breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps bringing a hand to your belly and noticing the belly rise and fall with each breath. As you're breathing, I'm going to read a quote. Have patience with everything that is unresolved in your heart, and try to live the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday, far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing, live your life to the answers. Rainier Marie Rilke. Breathing in and breathing out. And then perhaps just taking a moment while we're in our Shavasana, considering things that you feel uncertainty about in your life. Something that you're uncertain about in your life, and just contemplate the uncertainty. And then consider the things that influence you and why. What influences you? Music, friends, family, loved ones, people you don't like, teachers, friends. What influences you? And why do they influence you? Being curious about why you have those influences and why they make an impact on you. And then what are some of the mysteries of your life? Some of the unknowns in your life? Maybe your education, your future, a life partner. Perhaps why you're breathing shallow or deeply. What are the mysteries of your life? Why do you like certain colors or food? What are the mysteries? And why are they important to you? And then imagine that there's a source for all of the answers. There's an answer tree. And then what questions would you ask? What questions would you ask of that answer tree? What are the questions of your heart, your curiosities? And then noticing your breath once again. And then when you're ready, allowing your awareness to broaden, perhaps if your eyes are closed, opening the eyes. Becoming aware of your surroundings. And I wanted to thank you for practicing with me today on the Art of Yoga Project YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up. The light in me sees and honors the light within you. Have a lovely day. Namaste.